I wonder, yeah, I wonder if I have any room in the cloud left. It's going to be tough to tell. Um, so, all right. So we're recording hopefully, and because the cloud's getting pretty full, but in advance of the August 17th cut date, change date, whatever date you want to call it, CAR this last week released all of their new forms now, and there are a lot. Remember, and I love this because remember, like 2 weeks ago, we spent all this time on the BRBC, and we really went through and we got it dialed in, and we nitpicked every single line. And I said, "Now, hang on, guys, it's probably going to change, right? It's completely different. The form
What?
the form is completely different. We are going to go through that one because that's the most important one. That's the one form that we're going to go through. A lot of the content is the same, but the format is different. And in fact, I like the format a little bit better. But the other thing I'm going to show you is that I went through, if you log into Zip Forms, it's going to say, we updated all your forms. Do you want to take a tour? And you can say yes, or you can say no. But what I've done for you is I said yes, and I went into the big giant form vault, and out of all the forms that they've updated for this change, I picked the 12 or 13. I don't remember how many that you're probably going to use on the most regular basis. I downloaded them, I put them in a Google Drive folder, and I shared that folder with you. So if you look in your Google Drive for the email that I have for you, if you look in your Google Drive shared with me tab, you're going to see a folder called O1 Car Forms Updated 724 or something like that. Let me just go ahead and show you that now if I can do a share screen. So let me share screen. We're going to share screen. We're going to go to my desktop. And nope, that's not it. Sorry, guys. Here we go. So if you go into your Google Drive, open up Drive, and then see right here where it says shared with me, if you guys click that, one of the things that you're going to see is this folder that I created and shared with all of you called O1 Car Form Update 724. All right. Inside of that folder, there are two things. There is a Word doc or a Google Doc here that's got a link to all of the updated forms. If you want a hyperlink, you can go open that up, copy the hyperlink, put it into your browser tab, and go straight to the forms. Or you can open up the form samples for the ones that I downloaded for you already that I think you're going to deal with 90% of the time. The one thing I like about it is CAR took a form, a BCA. We had that form 4 weeks ago, okay? But what they did was they updated it, and everything that they updated, they put in red print, okay? You can see they updated a lot, an awful lot, right? So in this one form, in 1 week, they made that many changes, the closer that we get to August the 17th, okay? And it's going to get worse, guys. It's going to get worse. They're going to do it again. Here's another one of my favorites, the BRBC. We've talked about it 800 times. We've gone through it. Well, guess what? The whole damn thing is red. Okay. It's all been updated. We're going to go through this one, and a lot of it is the same, but the format is different. You know, here's another one. This is a whole new form. But here's what I want you to do, and you really got to do this, and it's going to suck, and I'm sorry. But I want you to get into this folder that I've shared with you in Google Drive, and I want you to read every single one of those forms. Okay? Just read them. There's 12 or 13 of them. It's going to be 5 minutes to read a piece. 12 times 5 is 60. You're talking about 60 to 90 minutes of your time. But reading them is going to make you a lot more proficient. It's going to make you a lot more familiar with the forms that are available to you and why you should use them, such as this one, which I really like a lot, the buyer's financial and personal information form. Okay. So now when we do a BRBC, and when we go through that form, you'll see why this form would be important. We've got all of their financial information regarding to purchase on one form that is signed by all parties, right? We know exactly what's going on with them. We know exactly where the money's coming from. We know exactly what they qualify for. We know if they're getting gift money. We know if they're going to need a credit. We know if they're going to be able to pay us. We know if they're not going to be able to pay us, all these things, right? So you got to go through and you got to read every single one of these forms, and you got to be familiar with them, because here's what happens with me in the next couple of weeks. In the next couple of weeks, I go through all these forms 5, 6, 7, 8 times. Okay. And then I get on the phone with Mary. And if you haven't had a chance to work with Mary yet, you will. And I will say this about Mary. She's extremely particular and very, very regimented in how we process paperwork. That's why she's the admin for both brokerages. Okay. Like, I do whatever she says. She tells me what to do. But I get with Mary and I get with these forms and I say, okay, look, Mary, I think we should require form A, B, C, and D on the transactions. And she's going to read them over and she's going to look at them and she's going to go, yeah, that's really nice. But I think that we should do B, D, E, G, and F. And I'm going to say, okay. Okay. She's going to update SkySlope, our transaction hub. She's going to update your checklist of what's required for you to get paid if you do a transaction. And she's going to expect that you know what those forms are and you know how to use it, right? And here's why it's important. Let me back up another step. When you put a transaction into contract, what is going on here? More terminators. When you put a transaction into contract, you would be wise to use her as your transaction coordinator, let her process all the paperwork and upload it into the portal and do all the things that need to be done. Because when you get done with the transaction and you want your money, I won't pay you until she says go, right? So she makes sure that all of the boxes are filled in, all the forms are filled in, that we're completely compliant, that in the event we get a complaint or I don't want to even say the word. It starts with the L and ends with T. You know, when she makes sure that we have everything on file to protect the brokerage and to protect us, she won't green light your paycheck. She won't green light your paycheck until all of that is done. I have never, and I will never pay an agent without her saying it's okay. All right. So read over the forms, understand what they are. We will probably go over a few of them that are more important. I'm going to be honest, full disclosure, I haven't read all these yet. Okay. We're going to go over the BRBC here this afternoon a little bit. We'll probably be going over some other ones in the next couple of, meetings, or we might have to have another meeting. I don't know, but this is a big deal. Second thing. Okay, let me stop sharing my screen. Second thing, since we're on that, make sure everybody's in. Good. I sent you an email. Check your email. It says, the subject line says strongly suggested webinar or something like that. Okay. Inside of that email, there is a hyperlink to the registration for a webinar next week put on by the California Real Estate Brokers Association. But Damian, I'm not a broker. It's okay. It's open to brokers and agents. California Real Estate Brokers Association is a 50% shareholder in MetroList. Okay. They're doing a full seminar on just the forms that we just talked about. Okay. You need to register and you need to attend that seminar. I don't care what you're doing. I don't care where you are. You need to register. You need to attend, because as much work and time as we've put into learning about these forms and understanding them and working with them, they're going to be so much better. Okay. They're going to tell you what the form is. They're going to tell you when you should use it. They're probably going to tell you why it's important. What are we pointing at, Michael?
Do you need to say that you're a broker, or
No.
is agent okay?
Yeah, agent's okay. They have a box that it says name, it says email address, and then it asks you, are you a broker or an agent? Everybody's welcome. So just click that you're an agent. It's going to be really, really important, really, really critical. Okay, so who am I going through? Is that Michael? I'm muting him. You're done. Okay, so check your email, make sure that you register for that webinar. Check your Google Drive shared file, make sure that you check those forms before the webinar kicks off. Make sure that you have read through all those forms, right? We're going to go through BRBC in a couple of minutes, and that's going to help you out a lot too. If you do all of those things, you will have no problems in the transition with regard to paperwork or with regard to compliance. Okay. It's just that simple. If you don't do those things, you probably will struggle. And I'm going to say it now. And so I'm glad that a lot of you are here because you can hear me say it. I have been working on this stuff with you for almost a year, right? I have grabbed all the forms that I think are pertinent, put them in a file for you, made it easy for you to read through them. I have given you a resource for going to a webinar for people that are way smarter than me to talk to you about all these forms, okay? I feel like I've done a good job, all right? What that means for you, and especially for the people that don't feel like they need to show up on a regular basis, is when you call me or text me panicked because you don't know what to do or what form to use or what you need, or you can't understand why suddenly you're in a situation where you don't have a commission coming on a transaction and you don't understand why I fired your ass. Do not cry. Okay? Just do not cry. Because we all, those of us that come over and over and over again and work on this stuff have put in a huge amount of time to make this go smooth, right? Not only that, but we've got it all recorded so you can rewatch it over and over and over again if you want to. So please, please, please read the forms, go to the webinar, ask the questions before August 17th. Okay. And then, yeah, of course, there's going to be lots of questions. Hey, Damian, I'm getting ready to sign a BRBC. I just want to make sure I got everything that I'm going to need. You know, I'm using this, and this. Am I covered? Did I miss anything? Cool. Let's talk about it. You know, hey, Damian, I signed a BRBC and I forgot to fill out this section. What do I need to do to make it right? Cool. Let's talk about it. Right? Hey, Damian, I've got a client that doesn't want to sign the BRBC. Cool. Let's talk about it. Hey, Damian, I'm writing an offer on a property. I want to make sure I get paid. I'm not comfortable with the words or with the SPBB form. Can you help me fill it out? Absolutely. Let's talk about it. Right? All that is wide open. Right? You'll be able to talk to me, be able to talk to Brendan, be able to talk to whoever, and we'll help you 110%. Here's what we won't help you with. Okay. What do I do? I swear, I'm going to say you better go start watching videos. That's what you better do. You better stay up all night watching videos so that you can write your offer in the morning. And once you have it written, if you want me to review it, email it over. Okay, fair enough? All right. Before we do the BRBC, though, I want to have a little bit of, we got a decent turnout here. I want to have a little bit of some participation. I have two choices for you. Okay, two choices for you. And I want you to imagine that if you're new in this business, you're not new. All right. You've got at least 10 years of experience in residential real estate, doing both listings and buyers. You're a well-seasoned, well-experienced agent. Okay. I have two choices for you. You can do 3 listings at $600,000, or you can do 1 listing at 1.8. Brendan's laughing. Brendan's laughing. 3 listings at 600,000 or 1 listing at 1.8. All right. Everybody's going to take a turn and go. You're going to tell me what your answer is and why. It's going to take 30 seconds or less. That's your time clock, 30 seconds. And then I'm going to give you my take on it real quick. This is just a little bit of fun and a little bit of food for thought as you build your business and develop it. All right. I'm going to go right down the line. I'm going to say, Cindy, you go first. Cindy, are you there? She's all mute.
Oh, am I there? Can you hear me?
Yep, I hear you now.
Oh, I must have been on unmute the whole time. Oh, good.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so my answer would be the 600,000. And the reason is because if you have all those listings, you're likely to pick up a lot more clients in your marketing, in listings and in buyers.
Great answer. Great answer. All right.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Julie, you're next. Why is Julie's name moving up and down?
I don't know. Yeah, that's what she took the words out of my mouth. I think if you have 3 listings, at least, if one falls through, you still got other listings and you still have activity. You can still market. You have a presence. You're going to get more buyers, more sellers, more interest. I think having 3 is a lot better than having 1 and $1 million bucks.
Okay, great answer. Great answer. Before I call the next person, I want to interject something real quick, though. Okay, I want to interject something real quick for those that are going to go next. If you have 3 listings instead of 1, that's 3 times the paperwork. Okay, that's 3 times the TC charge if you use a TC. All right, that's 3 times the mileage on your vehicle and the fuel expense. That's 3 times the signage, 3 times the marketing costs. Marketing costs, I don't just mean flyers. I mean, you've got 3 sets of photo, 3 sets of video, 3 sets of flyers. Okay. 3 times of everything. So keep that in mind. Remember that when I process a listing at $600,000, it's about $2,500 to $3,000 out of pocket, all said and done. Okay. All right. So keep that in mind as you answer the question. I'm not discounting the people that said 3. Brendan, you're up.
All right. I am also saying 3. Because of, and also too, I want to say that all those points were very good, and I didn't even think about that. Like, oh yeah, there's you got more in the pipeline. If something falls out, not a problem. Even though there's more work to do, what I've found in the past is that those higher end listings always take more work. The clients always take more work. A lot of times too, those are specialty properties where they take more marketing or there's something unique about them.
Can I interrupt for a second? Did you say
Please.
that the higher listing takes more work or the lower listings?
Usually the client takes more work with the higher listing. The higher listing usually takes more work because there's just a different beast. It's a different type of person. You also have different type of buyers.
Yeah, the buyers take more work on the lower
buyers.
listings.
I think that the seller themselves, they expect more. It's a different type of person. Also, too, you have a lot better chance of selling the $600,000 house because your buyer pool is so much bigger. There's not that many people out there that are going to be buying a $1.2 million house. They're out there. Don't get me wrong. There just aren't as many of them. So I'd rather take the $600,000 listing, have all of these buyers clamoring at it, and get my seller multiple offers, and they go, oh my God, thank you so much, instead of being rode hard by a seller and their buyer. That's where I'm at.
Oh, Nelly. All right, Brendan, that's great. That was way longer than 30 seconds, though. Way. All right, Don, you're up.
All right, I'm going to go against the crowd and I'm going to go with the 1.8 million. And the reason why is then you're getting, well, kind of like what Brendan said, you're getting a different class of buyer, which can be a pain in the ass, but they also have a lot of friends that they're going to refer you to if you do a good job. And they're also probably going to be in that same price range. So the goal would be to get more referral business in the higher end housing market.
Yeah. Very, very good answer, Don. Very astute. All right.
Can I interject real quick here? I am not turning down any listing at all. Bring on the 1.2 all day long.
Yeah,
Don has a very, very good point. Very good point, though.
Yeah. Okay, Jess, you're up.
Okay, so I'm with Dawn, mostly because I have another job between 5 and 1, And because all of my all of the things I've posted have been first time home buyers, you know, in like the 400,000s. So it would just be nice, I feel like, to have a huge range, right? So then I have boom, like $1 million house there too. And it's like I'd rather have one client that sucks the life out of me than 3 clients with paperwork with the amount I don't have the time. Like if I'm gonna be kissing butt and like running my ass to the ground, it might as well be worth it, like for one person at a time. Like for 3 people, it's exhausting. Like I give my everything. So I feel like I would go for the $1 million too.
I can't wait for corporate to watch this video. You know what I mean? Like I literally can't wait. Hi, James. Sorry. No, that's a great point. Don, Jess, both very, very strong points. Very, very good points. Karon. Karon's back from Alameda, everybody. Oh, yeah, hold on. Yeah, let me turn mine down and then you can turn yours up. Okay, go.
Okay, currently I take the $1 million home. One, I'm used to working with those kinds of people. It's kind of fun. I don't mind it at all. 2, I have another job, and 3 houses all at once would kick my butt. That would be hard. Yeah. I do like the idea of 3 houses though, because the more people that have your name in their mouth, the more business you're gonna get, which is fantastic. But I'm okay with the woman that needs to call me at 2 o'clock in the morning because her carpet has a spot and she wants the extra 10 grand on her house. Like I get it. I'm there.
All right, I'm turning back up.
Okay.
All right. More good points. More good points. Maybe this is what I needed to hear today, Brendan. Okay, Michael, you're up.
Well, up till this afternoon, I would have said for sure that, the $1 million, listing would make way more sense. But, I was talking to this guy this afternoon and he was letting me know how it goes with the $1 million customer, and kind of reminded me of some people that I was really not getting along with, and they might be demanding. It might be a tougher sale, might be a longer cycle, and I might have to jump through some more hoops. And I have to say, I think it'd be cool to have $1 million, sale listing on my, to be the first one. Wouldn't that be cool? I'd take anyone really. But you have to have 3 makes more sense. I want the experience. I want to do everything. I'm trying to, and be involved. I have to do it to learn it. So I need 3. Any 3. Just, yeah, thanks.
I would say don't turn anything down. If you get 3 that are 600,000, you got that 1.8 million you want to focus on, hey, give it to somebody else in the office and get a referral. You know what I mean?
Yeah, full disclosure, I don't believe that any of us are in the position to be turning down any listing at any price point at this point in time. I just don't think that that's the case. And that's probably, why I am where I am today. Poor Michael was the first one in the office today, and he walked in and I looked like this. Right. And he's like, "What's going on?" And I go, "I just got off the phone. And I need to go in the back room to see if I have an ass left." Like, I mean, so my vote, especially after today, and what I would say to you guys is this. I will take let's not even do, I will take 5 $400,000 listings. Oh, hey, buddy, and do the work versus the 1.2. Generally speaking, what you folks mentioned in my mind is what makes that more attractive. More units looks better on a resume. More units gives you more exposure across the MLS and all the other engines. More units gives you more transactions. More units gives you more reviews. More units gives you, more of everything, right? Like, so if you're doing 3 units instead of 1 unit, that's good for 3 good solid customer reviews. That's good for 3 good solid sphere hits that are hopefully going to refer you all over the place. That's good for 3 pieces of exposure on all the engines. That's good for 3 pieces of exposure in advertising, whether you're talking about general advertising or social media. Just the more that you do, the better. And generally speaking, those folks are a little bit more grateful and a little bit more thankful for your services than the other side of the coin. All right. However, I will say this. Don brings up an extremely good point. It is not bad to be in the fold of a sphere of influence that is buying 1.2, 1.5, $1.8 million houses. All right. As long as you're up for what that takes. Okay. Brendan said it best. These people are demanding. Okay. They are used to going through life and having everybody that they associate with do what they say. Okay. When they say it. It's not about scheduling. It's their schedule, right? It's tough. It's hard. Everything's a big deal. But, you know, the paycheck's worth it. Jessica and Karen also brought up a really great point that I've never thought of because I'm not in that position. And that is, hey, man, I got a job. Like, I do another job full time. I can't be dealing with 3 sets of clients if I can have 1 set instead. Because I already know that I'm going to give that 1 set everything I have. I already know that I'm going to give that 3 set everything I have. I'd rather deal with 1. That's a great point. So there is no right answer. There is no right answer. The answer is, what are you up for and what do you want your business to look like in 5 years, right? What do you want your business to look like in 5 years? What do you want your business to operate like in 5 years? What do you want your data look like in 5 years? What kind of people do you want to be working with in 5 years? Okay. I am 25 years into this, and there, you know, you could probably count on 2 hands the number of properties that I've sold over $1 million. Okay. I've never really, I went through a very brief moment in time where I thought, I'm going to switch over and I'm going to sell big dog housing only. I'm going to like change all my marketing. I'm going to change what I do and how I prospect and who I prospect. I'm going to do that. It only took a couple of listings for me to realize that was the wrong move for me. For me, you know, I prefer a different type of business. But, you know, there's a good talk. We got some really good input. Think about that when you start thinking about prospecting, or when you start thinking about what's my long range plan for business, what kind of clientele am I going to serve, what am I going to prospect? Think about those things. They're important. All right. Thanks. And thank you guys that answered the over $1 million mark, because I needed your input today. You just saved a listing for me. I was about to fire a client. Thank you very much for charging me up. I appreciate you. Now, moving on, let's go through the BRBC real quick, and then I'll get you out of here. Deal? All right. Where are you, BRBC? Desktop.
Managed construction, we built a lot of those. That's what over $1 million homes.
Uh-huh.
So I thought with them on that.
Okay. I'm having technical difficulties. Let me see if I can find this again. Sorry, guys, to keep you waiting. There's my desktop. I want to share that. Okay. And then I want to get rid of, where's my, I can't find it. Hang on, guys. Sorry. It's there. This bar is in my way. That's what the problem is. There we go. Okay. Still can't find it. Let's try it this way. There we go. Here we go. All right. We're in it now. Sorry, guys. All right. BRBC. Here we go. So, you know, you start out with the AD form just like the other one. Okay. And then we get into the new form itself. And this is a lot of the same information, but it's in a different format. And I mean, I got to tell you, I kind of like the new format. It looks a lot like an RPA, right? And it's a little bit easier to quote unquote fill in the blanks. So the right to represent, that's going to be your client. They're granting the broker. I'm pretty sure that the brokerage is going to autofill into there, not your name. That's okay, because the AD is going to establish you. is an agent for the brokerage, right? See if I can move these boxes to the other side. Yeah, there, good. The representation period is in the first kind of block there. Notice that they've made a change. This BRBC cannot exceed 3 months. All right. It's a 3-month contract period unless you've got a corporate client. Meaning that when you execute a BRBC, especially if you're in the lower price ranges with a buyer, and it might take you 6 months or a year to get them a house, you've got to do a calendar mark because you're going to have to renew it. You're going to have to modify it. You're going to have to extend it. We talk about what kind of property they're looking for. They've really simplified the location. They've said, look, you can either do it by city or by county, right? That whole address block thing is gone. All of that's gone. We know that we're not going to use that. You can put an additional description in if you want. I don't ever see us really using that. Look at this box. You check the box here. That says that you've included the buyer's income statement information with the form. Here's where you can list properties excluded from representation. So Brendan is my client. We're getting ready to sign the form. In talking with Brendan, I realized that he's under contract with another agent for 2 houses that he's looked at previous to signing with me. I'm going to enter those houses there. Those houses are exempt from the form, right? Now we're going to talk about how the brokerage and you make money, okay? The amount of compensation. We're going to put in our percentage here like we've always talked about. We can do flat fee here if we choose to do a flat fee, or we can see the attached compensation schedule, okay? This is the line where it talks about we're capped at that percentage. We're capped at that amount that we put right in here, right? We can't collect any more than that. If we collect any more than that, we're kicking it back to the buyer. We've got a continuation period. Okay. How long are we still up for a commission if this thing expires and you buy a house that we had direct involvement with after it expires? I'm thinking that we're not going to be able to get away with much more than 30 days in that box. I'm interested to see what they say at the webinar on this form about what we can put in that box. I'm also interested for them to translate this box for me because I don't understand it. The cancellation rights and notices for a non-exclusive and exclusive agreement. All of the agreements that we sign are going to be exclusives, but I don't understand what cancellation effective 30 days after receipt means. So I'm looking forward to the webinar so that I can understand what the hell that means, right? It puts the buyer on the hook in this box here. It says you're going to give me the BFPI within 5 days if I haven't attached it already. That's that form that we scrolled through real quick that says this is where the money's coming from. This is what we've qualified for. This is the credits we need, whatever. Look at this box, guys. Other financial considerations. The buyer does not have sufficient funds to pay the broker, right? They can check that box, or we can check that box saying straight up, look, there's no way in hell you're getting money from the buyer. If you can't negotiate it from the seller as part of the contract, nobody's getting paid, right? The buyer also says, I intend to purchase this with the following loan product, which does not allow me to buy, to me, buyer, to pay compensation to you, my agent / broker. I'm interested to see the webinar. There must be some loan products out there that have already forbidden that. Okay. Something that it's something with letters, guys. I don't know what it is because I'm not that up to speed on it, but it's something with letters like VA or FHA or CalPERS, or, you know, it's your CalHAFA. It's something with letters that has said, look, you can't ask the buyer to pay your commission. If they're using one of those letter loans, that box is going to be checked, right? It's going to automatically attach the broker compensation advisory. That's the advisory that had all of the red on it. We went through it a couple of weeks ago. There's a new one out with more red than black, which basically says, look, you don't have to pay these idiots anything. Everything's negotiable. They can't force you to pay anything. They can't say anything's mandatory. You can pay them 5 cents or no cents if you want to. It's all negotiable. It's all on them. It's going to be attached to this. They're going to remind us of that here. It's not fixed by law. And then they're going to talk about different kinds of representation and involvement. Remember, we're going to only focus on exclusive representation. Okay? Meaning you and I, Mr. Client, are working together exclusively. I'm your only agent for the length of the term of this agreement. Okay? And any property that I have involvement in, which is defined here in line number 4, I'm going to be due a commission on. Ultimately, that's your responsibility to pay it. As we've already talked, we're going to utilize and exercise one of 17 different ways to get that compensation directly from the seller. Chances are very high that you're never going to pay that. But ultimately, at the end of the day, you are ultimately responsible to pay me. Talks about the continued right for compensation, okay? And that's going to refer back to that box up at the top that I said I don't think we can get, get away with anything more than 30 days on, but I'm interested to see what they say in the webinar. Timing of compensation, it's closing, okay? We will be paid through escrow. We are required to provide you with an accounting of what money we're receiving so that you can review and make sure that you know where our money's coming from, you know how much money it was, and you know that it does not exceed the amount that we said our cap was, okay? Remember 2 meetings ago or whatever it was when I said, I'm not signing one of these for less than 3 because I don't want to cap myself. I can always do a modification to this form that says, fine, just kidding, I'll take 2, but I can't go up, right? So I want to sign it at 3. I want to try and get 3. If I'm only able to get 2 from the seller, and I know that's what I'm going to get, I'm going to modify this agreement down to 2. And at the end of the transaction, my ABCD form is going to show 2% income and where it came from. Okay? Payments received from others less than, I got to read this. That's weird. It assigns the rights to the broker to pursue the seller for compensation. Okay, cool. We have to disclose the amount of our payments. This talks about how we can cancel the agreement. Look, bottom line is we're going to have to let people know that if they want to cancel, they can cancel. All right? Especially in the beginning. We're going to have to make it very, very easy for them to cancel. Possible dual agency with the seller. This is going to be important. If you're one of those folks that likes to do dual agency. Talks about properties that are excluded from your representation agreement here and your right to a commission. We've got to have some conflict language. Limitation of our representation. If the buyer is obligated to compensate another broker during the period, the broker is not obligated to assist the buyer with respect to that property. And the buyer shall not owe us for anything on that property, right? Brendan had the agreement with 123 Main Street with another agent, but Brendan's not talking to that agent anymore, but their backup offer got accepted. And now Brendan's working with me. And Brendan's like, well, my backup offer got accepted on 123 Main Street. Can you help me over there? And it's no, I can't, right? And I don't have to. Talks a little bit more about our obligations. Here's that good faith paragraph that we spent a little bit of time with on the old one. The buyer has some responsibility in it too. They have to look at the stuff we're sending them. They have to respond to us when we ask them questions, right? They have to give us their financial and personal information. They have to read what we're giving them. They have to read the disclosures. They have to read the advisories. They have to read the reports. They have to let us know about any material issues. Damian, I don't want to live next to a railroad track. Damian, I don't want to live within 5 miles of an industrial zoned property. You have to let me know what that is on a separate form. You have to identify material issues for a property. Damian, we're in contract on this property, but if it comes up that, you know, it's on the Megan's list, you know, one of the neighbors is on the Megan list, I want out. You have to identify any material issues that are super important to you. You're going to indemnify us and hold us harmless from claims, blah, 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 from any material issues that the buyer failed to disclose. All right, Damian, I told you in the car I didn't want to live next to an industrial property. I bought the house. I found out that 4.5 miles away, there's an industrial owned property. I'm going to sue you. No, you're not. Because you didn't disclose it on the form. Okay. Attorney's fees, mediation, stuff about signers, stuff about the entire agreement. We're going to confirm compensation. Again, you're going to identify if you're an entity buyer or an individual. You only have to fill that out if it's an entity. Okay, if it's an individual, you don't. And then you've got signature lines. You got investigation. Hey, look at that address, Cindy. You've got investigation advisories. The compensation advisory, again, this is going to be on every single thing that we do, listing or otherwise. Okay. And then you've got dual agency advisory, again, Privacy Act advisory, and that's it. Questions? I know we went through that fast, but that's because it's 47 and I got to get you out of here. Right? And you're going to go through the file and you're going to read that form along with any other forms. Right? Some highlights of the forms that I saw. I really liked some of the forms in there. It will add to our BRBC package, but it will make it much, much more bulletproof for us and for our client. Okay? And for our client. So we're right up on it. Remember your marching orders, check the folder, sign up for the webinar. Let me go back. Check the folder and read the forms. Sign up for the webinar. As soon as I get through the forms, there might be some more talking points or some more emails. Make sure to stay on your emails all the time. Make sure to stay on your WhatsApp all the time. Anything else that we need to talk about? Any questions before I let you get the hay out of here? Hit me now. Let's go.
What was the webinar again? That was through CAR. I'm sorry, I missed that part.
CREB, Cindy. Check your email though, because I sent you an email with a registration link. It's California Real Estate Brokers Association. 50% owners of Metro List.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yep. Anything else? No? Okay. Go get your 3 $600,000 listings. Or Don, go get your $1.8 million listing.
I want to get 3 of them.
Mr. Hoity-toity. Or get 3 of them. Yeah, that's fine. And
mine goes on the market tomorrow.
Yeah,
guys.
Cindy, I thought you said it was going on today, and I went and looked for it, and it wasn't there.
No, actually, it is. I was in the middle of putting it on when we did our call. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys sell Cindy's house, man. That thing is awesome. The parcel is amazing, and the house is awesome. All right, she's gonna list it for $799. Super value. So you got to funnel some people to it quick. Like this weekend, you got to get in there. Thing's gonna go. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how to do. I sometimes the photography place will have you have a link to send to Facebook? Because honestly, I'm, not really good with that, but maybe I can do something with that tomorrow. I'm going to get it on, and then showings will begin tomorrow.
Okay. Let's mess around with it tomorrow. I'm sure you use Glen Rose, right?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, inside of Glen Rose's portal, there's probably some stuff. We'll take a look at it tomorrow and see what we can find.
Okay. And if I get any buyers, I don't want them. So let's really keep open to, having someone, because I won't present one on my own house.
Yeah. Hey, Cindy, I know you've heard me say a lot of times I don't do buyers. I was lying. That's not true.
I know that. Yeah, I know that. Exactly. It's a free for all, man. Just grab them and sell it.
I'm kidding. All right, guys. Have a good afternoon, and I will see you soon. And if you need me, call me and sell a bunch of real estate. Okay. Bye.
Okay. Bye.